St Mary's Church, Lawford, just the most beautiful church in the world. It's so special to me, as it is to so many other people. Not just because I was the rector here, and I have 10 wonderful years as rector, and 15 years before that working with Peter Ball as curate. This is a very special place. And it's special because it's special to my family, as it is to so many others. My children being confirmed here, grandchildren baptised here, children married here, my husband is buried here. It's a family church. And it's not just for those who come on a Sunday. This church has stood as a witness for hundreds of years as the parish church, the place for everyone to come to find peace, to find solace, to find laughter and friendship. But 800 years of history. Wow.
Well, we sat here in this beautiful Grade 1 listed church, which is set actually not in the village. Unusually, we're on the ridge overlooking the Stour Valley, and it's actually related to nearby Lawford Hall, and it has been for all the history of the church. It was built by Sir Bennet de Cockfield in 1340, or the main body was, and there is some evidence that the nave wall is of much earlier, around 1200, but it may be, it's been very much changed over the years. But certainly this beautiful nave chancel here was built by Cockfield, as I said, in 1340. One of the most interesting features of the chancel is this fantastic carving here that was part of the original chancel from 1340. But if you look closely, a lot of it has been damaged, and we think that was done during or just after the English Civil War, when Puritanism was around, and they didn't like this elegant carving, so it was knocked about a bit, hammered down. But fortunately, a lot of it still remains. One of the more famous monuments here is to Charles Merivale, the rector here for many years, who was an instigator of the Oxford-Cambridge, or one of the instigators of the Oxford-Cambridge boat race, and rowed in the very first race, and he came second. In 1991, we've got the modern extension to the north, which is where we've got the vestry and the church office and a meeting hall, which is very much used. And then in this century, we've changed the main body of the church here. The pews were taken out, put seats in, and the floor was retiled. So it's had a lot of change over the last few years, but essentially the shape of the church has not changed since 1340. The tower itself is made of some rocks that were sourced locally, but they're not very strong. And after the tower fell down, it was rebuilt with some bricks in the 17th century, some limestone blocks were added, and 2 big buttresses. But even today, and certainly over the last 50 years or so, we've been noticing persistent cracking, and we're monitoring it, but it's been ongoing and it's still going. And there are cracks within the inside of the tower internally. We can see them in the stairwell, and we can see some on the outside. And although we're monitoring them, we're getting a bit worried that it's just been continuous for many years. So part of our group's aim is to stabilise the tower and make sure it's available for future generations.
So when I took over as rector, having been a curate, I took over as rector, and one of the traditions is to ring the bell. And you ring a bell as many times as years you're going to stay here. Well, that's the thought anyway. Because we can't ring the bells here, you can only chime the bells. So I did chime the bells. You just pull the rope, and I did chime the bells for 10 years. And in the end, I did stay for 10 years.
I bell ring as a hobby. I've sort of got landed with keeping an eye on the bells, really. State of the tower is okay. We've cleaned it, and in all honesty, it's in reasonable condition for an old church. Bells have been remained silent, although you can chime them. And to be on the safe side, the actual ringing ropes have been removed as well. The wheels are still here, but the ropes have been removed. The condition of the bells are okay, but they're just not ringable at the moment. It's just, you can't do anything with them. So there's a chiming mechanism that was put in 1965, and that's how you can make a noise with the bells at the moment. Treble, which is this one here, was cast in 1667 by a firm in Colchester, and it weighs 4 3/4 hundredweight. The second, which is this one here, was cast in 1714 and that, by a firm in Sudbury, and that weighs 5 3/4 hundredweight. The tenor, which is the heaviest bell, was cast in 1907 by Whitechapel Foundry in London, replaced a bell that had been cast in 1714, and that weighs about 700 weight.
So I'm standing in our beautiful 13th century chancel, and the work here is absolutely exquisite. People come from miles to see it, the stonework particularly on these windows, and the light streaming through, and it looks perfect. And I'm glad it looks perfect, but in fact, because we've had some drone surveys on the outside of the building, we know that there is a lot of work that's got to be done and a lot of money raised to complete that work to keep our church safe. So one of the strengths of Lawford Church has always been the people who are willing to use their gifts and talents in the service of others, whether that be through music or through visiting or through bereavement care or childcare. And we've been very fortunate, very blessed to have a group of men who've come together who have very practical skills, who've been helping to repair and restore the church.
This porch is one of the first examples where bringing together people with trades have been able to restore the porch back to its normal self. Prior to this, we had rotten wood, woodworm, and it was in quite a disarray. So now we have a porch, which is the first part that people will enter the church into, which we believe is in now excellent condition. These are the gardens for those people choosing to be cremated, with their plaques on the walls for families living locally in this area. And this path leads on to the memorial statue and these gardens that have been here for many years. Lawford Church is situated on a hill with magnificent views. This one in particular of the River Stour estuary leading into Dedham and the Constable country is well renowned. We also have many walkers and ramblers who use the footpath round the church, down to Manningtree Station and on to Flatford, where a lot of Constable paintings were famously done.
But we provide a toddler club term time here throughout every Monday from 9:30 to 11:30. We have a Facebook page, so everybody who wants to join our group can look on Facebook and they can ask to join it, so that all the information that they need is provided on there. What you saw today was a great number of helpers, and we obviously after the pandemic, after lockdown, we decided we had to think outside of the box, didn't we,
The
Jill?
pandemic actually helped us in as much as that we never used to be outside. As Karen said, we were always indoors.
Always inside.
And we missed this beautiful weather. And it's so good for the children to be able to go outside and enjoy the nice weather and not be always indoors. And then we came up with the idea of the woodland walk, to do that as another activity, which they absolutely adore, don't they?
They do, they really love that.
That's one of their favourite parts, especially the older children. And they, as you saw when we were walking around, how much they enjoy finding the posters. We do Prince and Princesses, which we did today. We do dinosaurs, we do Fruits of the Forest, and we do woodland creatures. So there's different ones each week, and we do it every other week, which is great. Whatever the weather, unless it's absolutely teeming down with rain. Yeah. But if it's just misty, cold, snowy, little bit of drizzle, we will be out there doing it, and they all like doing it. They come well prepared. Dressed up. In fact, some of them were in their waterproofs and finding all the biggest puddles to play around in the puddles, because it's all by donations.
Yeah,
we don't have a fee. The same as people can rock in and rock out as they want. Yeah. If they come at, we start at 9:30, but if they come at 10:15 or 10:30, that's fine. Have a cup of tea and coffee, have a little play, have a song. So the mums aren't under pressure to say, oh, I've got to be there for a certain time. And if they can afford it, then that's fabulous to give us a donation. If they can't, well, then that's how it goes.
Yeah.
You know, we don't
ever
judge.
Ask. We don't judge and we don't ask. And if they've not brought any money, that's absolutely fine as well. So the contribution that they do give, when we have a count up, when our tin becomes full, we can't no longer hold it, we count it out and we go and give the money to our treasurer.
So that's a brief look at Lawford Church as it is at the moment and as it has been in the past, and we want to keep it going for at least another 800 years. I'm very grateful for everybody who's done so much already, but if you think you can take part, or if you think you want to be part of this community, please don't hesitate. You will have a gift to offer, I'm sure, and we can be with you as well. So thank you for listening to this, and goodbye and God bless.